This is the Gen Y Leaders Podcast. Welcome to the Gen Y Leaders Podcast, where we guide millennials to become the next generation of business leaders and entrepreneurs. I'm your host, Eric Huey, and multiple times a month, we bring you interviews from high-performing millennials who are challenging perceptions and changing expectations of our generation. Our mission is to help you overcome fear, take action, and go confidently in the direction of your dreams. It's time to start preparing now, mainly because 10,000 baby boomers are retiring every day, which will create a vacuum of career opportunities that you've been waiting for. Will you be ready? Nick, welcome to the Gen Y Leaders Podcast.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks so much for taking the time.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me on.
For sure. If you could just tell listeners a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Yeah, so my name's Nick Mikle, and I'm the co-owner of the Lawn Barber. We're a local family-owned company in Lee Summit, and we've been in business for about 14 years.
That's amazing. That was one of my questions, how long you've been in business. So I've known you since high school, I guess, and it's hard to believe that's for sure longer than 10 years ago, but 14 years, man, that makes me feel old.
Yeah, it does. Time flies for sure. So,
and I forget, did this business start when you were, I guess it did when you're in high school, but was the intent to keep it this long, or, what has made you hang on to it?
No, absolutely not. The intent of this business was to pay for, all my trips in high school for playing sports. As in high school you've got to pay for all the camps and everything. So that was the start of it, to be able to afford that. And I basically just started mowing lawns, and my parents would drive me around and with a little mower, and I would take care of their lawn and got paid, and it just kind of started from there. So
yeah, love to dig into that more here in a little bit, but explain your why a little bit. I mean, what's made you stick with it? What's made you passionate about lawn care and serving the local community?
Well, I've always been the type of person, I get tremendous gratification from, completing a task and turning something that could be improved upon. And, through landscaping, that always kind of provided that for me. So, I was always very happy doing that. And I always loved seeing a project once it was completed. So
yeah, that makes sense. You've had opportunities to see that through at each level of your business. So I guess on that note, you alluded to a little bit about kind of like where you started from as a kind of an origin story of one mower and your parents driving you around. So talk about kind of the phases of growth of your business and kind of where you are now in terms of employees and mowers and trucks and all that.
Yeah, sure. So like most, lawn and landscape companies, they start off in their parents' basement or garage. They start maintaining, other people's lawns. And from there, word of mouth spreads, and then you're doing their neighbors, and the process grows. So that's kind of how it happened with me. And I was fortunate enough to stick with it, and I continued to grow it, and I did it through college. Also, I'd come home from the weekends after college, and it just kept growing. And then after college, I got out of school, graduated in 2008. And when I got out, I realized that the business that I had, I was fortunate enough to continue doing it. And I was in a position to where it was either I continue doing this or, find something else. And I decided to make that leap of faith and continue doing it. And so we currently employ 10 people. We have 2 office staff. And so my dad is the co-owner of the company, and I'm the other co-owner. Before he came on, he was doing a remodeling business, and I asked him. I said, would you like to come on with me? And he said, absolutely. So he's been with me now for 9 years, and we offer everything from landscape services. So we'll come in and we'll plant trees, shrubs. We'll enhance the landscaping around people's homes. We'll do irrigation systems. We install them. We will maintain them, service them. And then we also offer fertilizer treatments, chemical applications for people's lawns. And then we also offer lawn mowing services and landscape lighting. So it's a hodgepodge of just about everything, really. So
outdoor home care basically is what you could group that, right?
Yes, exactly.
Very cool. Talk a little bit about what's contributed to your growth. Has it been, mainly word of mouth? Has it been marketing, like email, social media? What are some of the contributing factors that have allowed you to grow over the years?
Well, I would say the main thing is just, time. I put the time in, and this is an industry where it's a lot of hard work. It's long hours, and that's something that I have done over the years. And I would say, the biggest thing though too is online reviews. Anytime we service a client, I make sure to, after the service has been provided, I make sure and ask them to, leave a review online. And that goes as far as me sending them a link to our Google My Business page. And so that way Google knows we're actively, providing services in our area, in our local community. And that helps a lot. So when people go to search for a landscape provider, we're one of the first ones to pull up in our area. And that has really contributed to a lot of our growth. I would say that would be the main thing.
Very cool. How's it been working with your dad? I know some people avoid personal relationships, especially working with family. How's it been working with a parent in the business?
Yeah, I get asked that a lot. And, I've been very fortunate to have a good relationship with my dad. Of course, we have disagreements on some things, but for the most part, from a business standpoint, we make it work. And I am a very passionate person, so I have a certain way that I like to have things done, and he has a certain way that he likes to have things done. But we have kind of set responsibilities within the company. So he does his job, and he does it the way he likes to do it, and then I make sure and do my job the way that I like to do it. So
everyone stays in their lane, and everyone's happy, it sounds like.
Exactly. Yep. So, and it works. So if it works, then we try not to veer from that. So
for sure. Talk a little bit about future growth. Obviously, you've had this for 14 years now. I mean, are you just trying to maintain size at this point, and really enjoying the hours and the staff that you can manage? Are you still putting the gas pedal down, trying to grow as much as possible?
It's a combination of both. In the lawn and landscape business, it's kind of a evolving process. It's constantly changing the way you want to do things, whether it be to be more productive or more efficient. I've always enjoyed being a very efficient business. I like things organized. So with that, it takes a lot of time to do that. And As far as growth right now, I know we're still in a pandemic, and that has been very, very difficult, as every small business owner will tell you. Labor has been one of the more difficult challenges for us, and we have had to try many different avenues to try to retain good employees. And I think that was the biggest thing this year. So growth wasn't really, something that we focused on this year. And I don't think it's going to be something that we're going to focus on next year. I think we're going to focus on, maintaining and the efficiencies. And I think when things, hopefully things improve, down the line. And if they do, I think then we'll focus on growth. But right now, with the cost of, trucks and trailers and equipment, those are very large expenses, and those are things that we don't need right now. We're perfectly fine with where we're at. We have a good balance between assets and the number of crews that we have that can use them. Mm-hmm. And I think we're right where we want to be right now. So
for sure. Yeah, I didn't even think about it from that standpoint. It definitely clicked for me going into this interview that the labor portion would be hard to come by, but yeah, the trucks and trailers and equipment is a whole nother topic to get into. So yeah, I think that's an awesome strategy, and wish you well in that, my friend. I was looking at trucks the other day, and even like a used truck for 4 or 5 years old, like an F-150 in most places, still going for 45, 50 grand. I'm just like, man, it's outrageous out here. I'm just gonna buy a new one if I got to spend this much on a used one.
It is a truck that I bought in 2015. It's got 90,000 miles on it. It is worth the same now as it was, then. So
isn't that crazy?
It is. It's
So if you weren't doing this and co-owner of the Lawn Barber, what do you think you'd be doing at this point in your life had you never started the business?
I've never thought about that.
No.
I've never had to think about that. I really enjoy what I do. I'm very passionate about what I do. Yeah. I've been very focused on this business. And I've never asked myself, at any point, what would I be doing if I wasn't doing this?
Yeah.
So it's always been lawn and landscaping, and I hope that I can continue doing this for as long as I can. So
yeah, it's what you're meant to do.
Absolutely. And I'm a firm believer in that. Everybody's meant to do what they're supposed to do, and what they're great at, and what they're passionate about. And majority of the time people will end up doing what they love. So
definitely great advice. So kind of dovetailing off the advice topic, one key question that I ask every guest is, if you had to speak to a room full of another 100 or so entrepreneurs who are millennial age or younger, what would you say to them to inspire them, or what kind of key lesson learned would you tell them?
Stay patient. I think patience is the biggest thing. Things don't happen overnight. You're not going to accomplish your goals in a day, a month, a year. Depending on what it is that you do, if you're trying to start a service-based business, a small business, and you're trying to grow it with employees, and try to build something that takes a lot. It takes a lot of time. It takes years to do that. So just take small steps, and focus on the things that matter in your business. Value your time. Tackle the big problems first, and build off of that. And then eventually you'll see that, things start to take place and take shape, and you'll do just fine. So
great advice. And another key question I ask is about books or resources. Are you a book guy, or are there any like podcasts or resources that you use in general to help you become a better business owner that you would want to plug for other entrepreneurs out there?
Yeah, when I have time, I do enjoy reading. My favorite book, oddly enough, I found at an airport
Nice.
on the way to vacation. And the book was called, I believe it was Street Smarts.
Cool.
And it was by Bo Burlington. And it's titled An Entrepreneurial Toolkit, All-Purpose Toolkit. And the book was, it helped me kind of navigate through my business and find ways to solve, big problems and, see the big picture of things. And, it was very insightful. It was able to help me see that, most small businesses all have the same problems. And if you can figure out a solution to those problems, you can be successful.
For sure. Great plug. I've never heard of that one, but it sounds interesting. So I'll have to check it out. Nick, remind us where, what areas of the KC Metro you serve and how people can get in contact with you if they want to service further outdoor areas.
Well, they can get a hold of me in many different ways. You can go to, you can reach us on Google, and then you can also reach us on Facebook and Instagram. And we serve mainly the Lee Summit area, depending on what service it is. So in our industry, you have to kind of pick your areas that you want to serve. So there are specific services that we only provide within our local community. And then there's other services that we can go a little bit further out, and we'll go as far as Gladstone for some of them. So
awesome. And it's the Lawn Barber KC, correct?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. All right, folks. Well, you heard it here from Nick. Nick, thanks so much for your time and your inspiration, and congrats on the growth you've had in 14 years and the patience that you've had in persevering through the struggles of business, and have no doubt that you continue to grow.
Hey, thanks, sir. Thanks for having me.
That wraps up today's episode. We hope to have brought you some valuable key takeaways. Most importantly, whatever you learned, take action on it. Apply it to your life. Apply it to your career. Motivation and inspiration only come as a result of taking that first step. So if you're enjoying the podcast, don't forget to like and subscribe on whichever platform you found the show. You can also follow us on all the major social media platforms, or contact us directly at genwhyleaders@gmail.com. That's GENWHY leaders@gmail.com. Until next time, I'm Eric Huey, and thanks for listening to the Gen Y Leaders Podcast.